Hi, hello, and welcome to my channel. I am Emmaline, and today we are going to be completing a death walkthrough on Wizard 101. I have been playing this game for over 16 years, and I have seen how much this game has changed over time. I have not experienced what it currently is like. However, I would really love that opportunity to go through and see how much has changed since playing all the way back for the first time in 2010. What we're going to do for this gameplay is kind of have 4 goals or guidelines that we're going to follow as we quest through the spiral. The first guideline is to listen to the story. Let's immerse ourselves into why we're even here in the first place. 2. Use mostly dropped gear. This means that any gear that a mob or a boss may drop after being defeated, if it is something that we could use potentially, especially in Arc 1, we're going to use it as much as we can. When it comes to farming gear, especially for iconic dungeons and like kind of required dungeons, such as Mount Olympus at level 30, Castle Darkmoor at level 100, farming for atavistic gear or the bygone gear or waterwork gear at level 60. To prevent farming burnout, what we are going to do on our playthrough is limit ourselves to 5 dungeon runs. If we get all of the gear within the 5 runs that we are looking for, beautiful. However, if we are still going in these dungeons on round 4 and even on run 5 and we're still not getting that drop we need, after that 5th dungeon, we have to move on. I think this way is a really good way to play, so creating burnout for ourselves is less likely to happen, and we are kind of, for the most part, prepared to continue questing. Lastly, we are going to be a 0 crown purchase player. In other words, on Emmaline SoulDreamer, we will not be purchasing any packs, any pets, any mounts, nothing. The only way a crowns item will be allowed to be used is if it is something that my main death wizard, Kylie Deathheart, already owns it. For example, if it may be a mount, we can just transfer the mount. If it is a stitched gear, we can use it as a stitched gear, but not for the stats themselves. We're going to try and stay as inexpensive playthrough as much as we can. So with those all in mind, let's go ahead and log in on Emmaline SoulDreamer.
Well, hello, if it isn't our newest student.
So as I've mentioned, I've played this game more times than I can count. So for me to play the tutorial is not necessary. So if you've never played before, it actually requires you to play through the tutorial for the first time. But I don't need it, so we're just going to go ahead and skip it. And so we are officially in. Looking at how we start off, a death wizard or a necromancer starts off with 450 health, 15 mana, nothing too crazy. We start off with the starter deck and the wand that gives 5 accuracy, which is really nice. I remember all the way back in 2010 when you'd start, you would get a wand that had your school specific wand hit, or if you had a wand dropped, it could drop a spell from the 6 other schools that was not your school. So looking at all of these, we have all of the rank 1 spells for each of the schools, plus a little heal. But if we look at the side deck Dark Sprite compared to our trained Dark Sprite, it is significantly not as great. So I'm just going to click it out because I don't want to use a weaker version of my rank 1 spell. But let's go ahead and talk to Merle.
Welcome to Ravenwood Academy, young wizard. And normally, this is where you'd be enrolled and sent to your classes. But times are not normal. There's some kind of supernatural incursion in Unicorn Way that must be dealt with immediately. I wonder... You've demonstrated such potential, I think practical experience will serve you better than lectures. Care to put your talents to the test? Splendid! Time is of the essence, so I'll teleport you there directly. Seek out Private Connolly, the Wizard City Guard in charge of that area.
Welcome to Unicorn Way.
Yes, hello, Gamma.
There are creatures here who will attack you if you get too close to them, so stick to the task at hand.
Whoa, 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 young student. The street's very dangerous right now. Is there something I can help you with?
Wizard, do you see the symbol above Private Connolly's
You know,
head?
I really
That
miss when
means he has
Connolly
something important
was
to tell
over
you.
here.
Go speak with him.
Saren was over here. Olivia was also... No, I don't think she moved. But I don't like how they've moved those two, but we'll see.
What's that? You say the headmaster sent you to help us? Well then, you're just the person, or wizard, I've been waiting for. This used to be a pleasant street, but we've been invaded by hordes of strange creatures. The guards and I have been doing our best to push the creatures back, but we're no match for their dark magic, especially the undead. Maybe your fancy wizard magic will do the trick. Go battle a few of those lost souls, then report back to me. Good luck.
To battle the monster.
If you can drive away some of these lost souls, we'll be in your debt.
Alright, well, let's go defeat 2 lost souls. Correct me if I'm wrong, but before the Wizard City change, wasn't it 3 that we had to defeat first? I don't know. Maybe it's just amnesia or something. From what I hear, you also can't fizzle in Wizard City, or at least in the Unicorn Way area. I don't know how true that is. Okay, so that's not bad. So we got nothing dropped, which is fine. The only downside to just using dropped gear is that if you don't get something that is usable, it's a little annoying, but hopefully throughout this playthrough we can get as much dropped gear necessary to death as possible.
Beaten by a mere student, wizard! Come, souls, let's get lost somewhere safer. While your character is transparent, you are safe from combat, but it only lasts for a short time. Get to the sidewalk before it wears off.
I'm so excited for a mount. Let me tell you, I don't miss just running around.
That's turned the tide. We'll follow your lead and start pushing these ghostly things back. But I'm worried we won't be able to drive the phantoms away for good without knowing why they're attacking us. We've got to find out what's behind this. Another intrepid student, Sirin Nightchan, also came to help. Maybe he's learned something useful.
Oh, hey there, I'm Saren. You're new here, aren't you? Well, I for one am very glad you're here.
I miss the iconic greetings. Also, did they change the voice for Saren? Because this doesn't sound like what I remember.
I couldn't help but notice how you took down those lost souls. I have to say, I'm quite impressed by your spell-slinging skills. When I heard there was trouble on Unicorn Way, I rushed right over. But then I saw what's out there. Skeletal pirates. Skeletons I can handle, but skeletal pirates? Pah! Yar! No thank you! Pirates give me the heebie-jeebies.
Excuse me, did I hear you two talking about skeletal pirates? If you're going to face them, please come talk to me first.
It would be good to know exactly what we're up against. Do you think you could battle a few skeletal pirates to see how tough they are? Great! I'll mark their location on your map. Thank you so much for doing this.
Ooh, prep because
Go battle a few of the skeletal pirates on Unicorn Way. The guards will appreciate a report on their combat tactics.
Alright, so it looks like we can go to our dorm, so we're gonna mark and go home. Let's grab a pet and a mount, and then we will get started. So let's grab you, and let's grab you. Let's go ahead and equip and port back. Much better. I don't know if we're necessarily going to pick up side quests just yet. Maybe, I don't know, maybe leave a comment or two and see what you guys would like to see. Side quests or not. So your death, let's try storm and see if it doesn't fizzle. I have seen with the new update that they've changed the spell animation a little bit.
Parley, parley! Ye got guts, little wizard. More than us to be sure, but ye be no match for that which rattles in the darkness.
Some of the casting symbols are drastically different compared to what they were before, and some of them are really hard to tell if you're going to fizzle or not.
Oh, wow! You made it back! I mean, how'd it go? What did you learn? The pirates warned about a rattle in the darkness? See, this is what I was talking about. Pirates are always creepy and frustratingly vague. What is clear is that some evil magic has emerged here, and we're going to need more than a handful of guards to stop it. There is a powerful, ancient being who may be able to help us understand the dark forces we're facing, the wise seraph, Lady Oriel. Not only does Lady Oriel possess strong magic, she's also the warden of the ferries, and they keep her well informed.
You've received a temperament to equip a...
Perhaps she's heard something about this rattle in the darkness. Go speak with her in the hedge maze at the far end of Unicorn Way.
I think it's very weird they added that gamma tip in the middle of that dialogue. Alright, first gear dropped, and we have it equipped. Not like 2 death resist does a whole lot, especially in Wizard City, but it's something other than the starting default gear. On the topic of side content, I do for sure know we are going to do the Zeke and Eloise quest just for the training points, but anything else still kind of up in the air for debate. We're actually going to leave a mark by this smith for when we do gain access to that Zeke quest.
Halt! What purpose brings you into our hedge maze? Forgive me, young wizard. These dark times make me leery of new faces. But now I see the light within you. We've much to discuss. The evil forces that loosed the undead upon Unicorn Way have also corrupted my precious fairies. Please, you must help them. Vile bone cages have appeared along Unicorn Way. They are filled with a mysterious dark magic that corrupts all fairy folk who venture near them. Dispel the dark magic in the bone cages, then bring me fairy dust from those it corrupted. It may reveal to me who is behind this atrocity. It pains me to say it, but the only way to obtain the fairy dust is to wrestle it from the dark fairies in combat. Try to be gentle. Once you've dispelled the bone cages and collected the fairy dust, return to me immediately. Good luck, young wizard. May the light guide you.
There's something about opening the bone cages first and then working to defeat the fairies is kind of therapeutic in a way. But I did hear a couple years ago that they removed the fairy queen, and I have very distinct memories of dreading being pulled by the first boss before we ever defeated Rattlebones. So very, very interesting. So I gain these cards from my pet, so slightly cheating, but I mean, the gloomy eye pets are really good for a death starting kind of in that arc 1 because you get a blade early, you have a stun if you want to use it, it's not really needed, but you also get a 4-pip AoE, which is nice because our AoE doesn't start until level 48. We're practically done with Dragonspire at that point. And I think having that AoE once you get into Crocotopia and throughout Dragonspire is going to be so helpful. Especially when you're at a 2v1 against mobs. Oh wow. You know, actually, is this the pet that has the 2 crits,
I can
or
feel
is
the
it the
darkness
1?
down in my bones. But now that terrible cloud has been lifted. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
So if I go to my pet, okay, so I have 2 gloomy eye pets. One of them has triple damage and then double crit rate, but this is the one that has triple damage, resist, and a crit rate. And then once we get to a level, we can socket a jewel, probably death boon or something, that I don't mind getting rid of once we have a higher pet. But interesting.
You hear a tiny, joyful voice call your name.
Thank you for helping us, kind wizard. Your courage and benevolence will not soon be forgotten by the fairy folk.
You've cemented your reputation as a hero to the fairy folk, young wizard. With the bone cages dispelled, I can help the other corrupted fairies in time. Now we must root out who is behind this attack. Please, let me examine the fairy dust. Is that? But how? The fairy dust displays scars of a dark magic banished from this world long ago. Could it be Rattle in the darkness? Rattlebones. In life, a ruthless tyrant who was banished to the underworld for his crimes. If I focus, perhaps I can sense his location. Oh, so much darkness. No, my vision is obscured. All I see is a tower, ringed in bones. Siren Nightchant knows Unicorn Way. Perhaps he can help. Quickly, you must ride to Siren at once. Ask him if he knows of a tower ringed in bones. Go.
We got some boots. So, looking at this, so the 10 comes from the pet, and then we have an additional 4, 2 from our hat and 2 from our boots. Again, nothing too crazy, but I mean, we'll just kind of take what we got. I think over time we're going to primarily go for things that are damage or accuracy related, especially because early game accuracy is really bad. But we shall see. As a kid, I always thought that Unicorn Way is a very long street, but it really is not. I think it's shorter than some of the other streets here in Wizard City. But kid me also had no perception of really how long was something compared to others.
Hello! You were gone for so long, I was beginning to worry you'd run off and joined a skeletal pirate crew. What did Lady Oriel have to say? Oriel thinks an underworld tyrant named Rattlebones is behind all this? Wicked. Let me think. He's in a tower ringed in bones. Well, the skeletal pirates do seem to be concentrated around the old archives. Try looking there. Here, I'll mark it on your map.
What we will probably do for this walkthrough is kind of do each street as its own video. I know over time some streets can be longer than others, but I think kind of doing street by street is going to be a little easier.
Good work, my thrall. This could be the tome Manister seeks. Now what's this? A wizard? Excellent. I could use a combat break. Let's play.
I wonder if they make a wand for a wizard similar to what Rattlebones has. If they do, that'd be really cool to have. So let's go in here. We don't really need a fairy. We don't need that. But I definitely want to make sure I have my AoE, a bleed, and then my others. So kind of checks out. Beautiful.
The day is yours, young one. But the Dark Master's plan is already in motion. You haven't heard the last rattle in the darkness.
In his haste to leave, Rattlebones dropped the tome he was holding. It could be important. Perhaps Saren will know what should be done with it.
So that's... I mean, if we wanted to use this, we could, but we probably won't anyways.
As you walk back onto Unicorn Way, you can't help but notice that the dark magic that was previously choking the street seems to have abated.
I think I have classic mode on. Where do I find that? Well, let's turn the backpack item lock on. Yeah, okay, so I have classic mode on. We're just gonna kind of keep it on for right now until, I guess, the next portion of our walkthrough. There's something just so nostalgic about the classic mode, and that's why I usually keep it on. But we can also try what it currently looks in game as well.
You did it, didn't you? You beat Rattlebones! The darkness plaguing Unicorn Way is lifting. Look! With Rattlebones defeated, the guards should be able to drive away the rest of the undead horde. Ooh, that tome looks important. You should take it to the library in the Commons. Harold Argleston will know what to do with it.
Okay, so if I remember, the open hand just gives flat damage, which isn't super important to have. So I think anything with that, we're just not going to really bother with. But let's go turn this into Harold, and then we will kind of wrap up the first part of however many for this death walkthrough.
Well, hello there. I don't think I've seen you in the library before. I'm Harold Argleston, Master Librarian Extraordinaire. You say you recover this tome from an underworld tyrant who is going to give it to his dark master, Malistaire? I do believe this is a matter for Headmaster Ambrose. You should take the tome to him at once. But before you go, allow me to reward you for your heroics. Please, accept this treasure card on behalf of the denizens of Wizard City.
Treasure cards are...
Cool. Alright, let's go turn this into Meryl, and then we will just kind of recap what we've done.
Oh, good, you're back. I'm anxious to hear your update on Unicorn Way. Evil darkness summoned from the underworld? Oh, my. Rattlebones, you say? But he was banished centuries ago. How could... Oh, Malistaire. Of course. But why? Rattlebones was searching the Unicorn Way archive for this tome? Well, let me see what it is. On the trail of the Order of the Fang. Oh, my stars. I will certainly look into this. While I do that, you need to attend to the matter of your long-delayed enrollment. If you are to truly master your magical talents, we must induct you officially into our academy. I'll send you now to Mr. Lincoln, our registrar in Ravenwood. He will introduce you to our professors and help you begin your studies.
From time to time, many...
Alright, and so there we have it for our first part of our death walkthrough on Wizard 101. I hope that you enjoyed today's beginning part of our walkthrough. Please consider dropping a comment should we be doing side quests? Should we be doing specific side quests such as the Zeke and Eloise quest only? What are some things that you are looking forward to seeing in our death walkthrough? And what are some other guidelines we potentially could add to our run through, along with our farming gear strategy, our crown purchasing limitation, and things like that? So I really do hope that you enjoyed today's video. Please consider giving a like and potentially a subscribe. And we will see each other in the next part of our walkthrough. See ya!